Welcome to Special Times with Peter Filosa. Today we are interviewing Tom Melville, who is running for state representative as a Democrat in the 9th Norfolk District. He is running against two-term incumbent Republican Marcus Vaughn. The 9th Norfolk District includes precincts 3 and 4 in Medfield and includes Norfolk, Wrentham, Plainville, and parts of Walpole and Millis. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Peter. It's wonderful to be here with you. Thank you for inviting.
Nice to have you.
I'm so glad to be here with you.
What is your background and why are you challenging Marcus Vaughn?
I've spent most of my life as a journalist. My most recent journalism job was I was executive news director at WBUR, the NPR station here in Boston. I started as
I've heard it's a good radio station.
I think it's a wonderful resource for our community. A really good newsroom. Some wonderful journalists there working hard every day.
You should tell them about my TV show.
I'm happy to connect you with them, Peter. That's a good idea. I started my career as a United States Peace Corps volunteer. I served in a small town in the Dominican Republic. I spent
Red Sox Hall of Famer David Ortiz's country.
And Pedro Martinez and some really outstanding baseball players. I served near the town that has produced the most Major League Baseball players, I think, in the world. It's a wonderful country.
I've never been.
I hope you get a chance to go. It's a wonderful country, a wonderful culture, wonderful hard-working people. In my little town, the name of the town was El Valle. I was a school teacher there. I coached basketball. I helped start a library. I worked on a number of community projects, and those folks really took me in and took very good care of me. And and I'm really grateful to the American taxpayers who support the Peace Corps and allow our citizens to go all around the world to work on public service projects and service. I loved that job. It's the best job I ever had, and I seek to serve again. I came home from the Peace Corps. I wanted to work in journalism. I went to grad school. I went to law school.
Cool.
For training to work in journalism, and then was off spending decades in journalism. I worked around the country. I was an agriculture reporter in Iowa.
So like a farmer?
Not covering farmers, covering the soybean industry.
It's sad what's going on with farmers these days. I've heard a lot of them are going bankrupt, and
that's true.
I think it's very, very, very sad.
It is. The family farm is really under stress here in the United States.
I think it's sad what's going on with them, and I hope everything is going to be okay.
Well, we need our family farms. They're an important part of our country. After being
right now I'm doing something similar at my mom's house. I'm growing tomatoes, squash, all different type lettuce and all that. I'm doing something similar.
Wonderful. That's great.
And I like growing vegetables. It's become a hobby of mine.
Well, it's something I do with my wife too. It's a great pastime.
What are the most important skills and experience you will bring to the State House?
I have a record of building teams of journalists. I was executive news director at WBUR, the NPR station here in Boston. I was news director at New England Cable News, which was then the largest regional news channel in the country, and gathered together and led teams of journalists to get information out to the people. And I think that's an important job for a state representative to be doing. What is going on with our government? Where are we spending our resources? What's working well? What's not working well? I think both as a reporter and then as a news manager and editor, I was able to marshal resources, focus on problems, and shine light on them. And I intend to do that as a state representative.
So, since you worked for WBUR, would they like to hear about what I do here, or what do you think?
I think they'd be very interested. I think Special Times with Peter Filosa is a wonderful program. I think you're a wonderful leader in our community, wonderful advocate for the special needs community, and I'm happy to connect you with the folks at WBUR.
What do you think are the most important issues in Massachusetts, and what would be your top priorities as state representative?
We have a number of major priorities. One that I'm very focused on is support for public education. I think educating our children and our young adults and lifelong education, early childhood education, are all among the most important things that our government does. I think for a town like Medfield, which relies on property tax to fund fund its government and fund its school system, the funding mechanism, Chapter 70, the law that brings revenue for our schools from the state to the towns, needs to be adjusted so that we do a better job of funding our schools. I will be advocating for public education. Healthcare access is another huge issue. Transparency is a big part of why I'm running, transparency in our government, but also transparency in healthcare. When you go to the doctor's office or the hospital, you should walk in the door knowing what the procedure or the treatment you're going to be receiving is going to cost. We need to do a much better job on that. I want to focus on housing. We need to have a housing policy in place that allows us to affordably build housing so that the young people who've grown up in our towns and the people who work in our towns can afford to live in our towns. Climate policy is really, really important. We have a really booming clean energy, green energy series of businesses, a really blossoming industry, clean energy industry here in Massachusetts. We need to embrace that. We need to embrace wind energy and solar energy and energy storage to store the electricity, the power, so that we have access to it when the sun is not shining and the wind's not blowing.
Yeah, talk about climate. It's been very hot lately.
It has.
That has something to do with it.
I think that we are in a climate crisis. The planet is warming.
Yeah.
And there are real things that we can do here in our towns and in our state to make sure that we address the climate crisis, that we stop. We have a plan here in Massachusetts and we have a plan nationally. We have a plan globally to take our emissions of carbon and get it down to net zero carbon emissions. And we have to do that. We know the science is there and the technology is there. We can do this, and we can do it in an affordable way, and that's another issue. And this has become a bit of a cliche, but the affordability crisis truly is the affordability crisis. Life is very, very expensive right now. And there are things we can do to make sure that every penny we're spending as a state government, we're paying too much for our fuel, we're paying too much for our fuel, our food, our energy, our electric bills, our taxes.
9th Norfolk, since its creation, has been represented by a Republican state representative. How have you been received in the district? And what is the strongest evidence that you can break through against Representative Vaughn?
I've been very well received. I'm very grateful for the reception that I'm getting. I'm knocking on doors with my campaign volunteers in all 6 towns, in Plainville, in Rentham, in Norfolk, in Medfield, in Millicent, and Walpole. And in each of those towns, I've received wonderful receptions. I'm very hopeful that this district is ready for a change. I think it is. I think we deserve a full-time state representative. We're paying for it, we're not getting it. Um, I've already spelled out all the areas, or a number of the areas in which I will focus. That's my campaign, that's my series of promises to our voters. But I also have to contrast myself to my opponent. There are 160 state representatives in the Massachusetts House of Representatives, and last year, our state representative, Marcus Vaughn, was #1 in missed votes. We did not, in this district, we did not have a vote on the $60.9 billion state budget last year because Representative Vaughn did not show up to vote. So I think these 6 towns are ready for a change. I think they are right now paying for a full-time state rep and not getting a full-time state rep. So I intend to be that state representative.
I recently interviewed State Auditor Diana DeZarglio on Special Times. What do you think about the referendum to audit the state legislature and Diana's effort to improve transparency in state government?
I support Auditor DeZarglio. I support the audit. 72% of Massachusetts voters voted for it. I spent my life, most of my life as a journalist, decades of it here in Massachusetts, trying to cover the legislature and trying to cover state government. And it's a hard legislature to cover and a hard state government to cover. It needs to be more open. We need to open our books just in general. What are these contracts we're paying for? What are the goods and services we're paying for? I understand the constitutional argument that the leadership is making, the separation of powers argument that the leadership is making, and I believe we just need to be completely clear in every way about how we're spending our money. In my own life, my wife and I look at every nickel that we spend in our household, and I think that's the way state government should be run as well. And there are other areas where we can be more open. I think we need stronger public meetings laws, public records laws. I believe we need a reporter shield law here in Massachusetts so journalists can go in there and not have to worry about being jailed if they don't give up their sources of stories. We need to protect our journalists. I have a journalist flashlight, figuratively. I want to go into that building, work hard, work with my brother and sister legislators, try to solve the problems of the Commonwealth, and also shine a light on what's going on in there.
And I respect you.
Well, thank you, Peter. I have great respect for you as well.
As a special needs adult, I have worked with many immigrants who staff group homes and nursing homes. These immigrants have been a flashpoint in the 9th Norfolk District. What policies related to immigration do you believe are the best for Massachusetts?
Excellent question. We need, I think all of us agree, we need immigration reform in the United States. We need a system at the border. We need a system that's fair. We need a system that allows hardworking people to enter our country. We are a nation of immigrants. My ancestors came here in poverty not that terribly long ago. And this country opened its arms to us, and we've been able to be productive citizens. I agree that if folks have come here seeking to live here and have committed crimes, that they need to go. And we also need to embrace immigration. If you're talking about, and I've experienced the wonderful community of immigrants who work in our nursing homes, work in long-term care facilities. Both of my parents spent years working in long-term care facilities. I don't know where we would have been as a family if we didn't have the wonderful immigrant community working so very hard on behalf of my folks and thousands of others here in Massachusetts.
And talk about immigration.
Well,
I think my opinion is that I think ICE should stay out of Massachusetts and not stick their nose in our business.
Well, there is an effort at the legislature right now, and there's a conference committee working on the Senate and House versions of a bill to make sure that we have an appropriate relationship with ICE and an appropriate relationship with ICE officers, and that they are not, I mean, all you need to do is look at the news and look at the video to see that ICE has been acting in completely inappropriate ways. So yes, as a Commonwealth, we need to make sure we're protecting our citizens. There are citizens of the United States that have been scooped. There are legal residents of the United States that have been scooped and put on planes and sent out of the country. We had a college student
From Babson.
from Babson who was scooped
I
and
heard
sent
that on
away.
the news
Yeah.
recently.
She's back with us now. But yes, there have been abuses, and the state government needs to act to protect the Commonwealth, to protect all of us, to protect, as you say, an amazing group of workers here legally who work in our long-term care facilities. We need to do that.
What do you do? What do you enjoy doing with your spare time?
This might sound cliche, but it's true. I have a family, and I love being with my family. My wife and I garden together. We have a granddaughter who's almost 2 years old who loves to be in the garden with us. She also loves to be on the swing. I'm a jogger, a very slow jogger, but a jogger. I'm committed to it. I enjoy putting my sneakers on and running through the streets of Medfield and Norfolk and Walpole. I haven't run as far as...
I haven't seen you come by our house yet.
Well, give me your address and I can jog on by.
It's a...
We don't have to do that on the air here, but I'm happy to do that.
I would love to see you sometime and come out and say hi to you.
Absolutely. That's great, Peter.
And in my spare time, I like growing my vegetables at home and watching them grow. And I like I do a company from Plymouth called Drew's Trips.
I see.
From Plymouth. I'm going to a trip with them June 27th. Red Sox versus Yankees.
Wonderful.
At Fenway Park with Drew's Trips, and I'm looking forward to that in my spare time.
Great. That's another...
and Drew's a wonderful guy. He runs the trips.
Great. I do love the Red Sox. Even when they're playing poorly as they are right now, it's a joyful experience to go and sit.
They won last night, 10-1.
They did, yeah.
Any final words before we stop?
Well, sure. I'll look directly into the camera and say that I believe in service. I believe in public service. I believe in civility in our government and problem solving. And I intend to be a civil, problem-solving state representative for the 6 towns in the 9th Norfolk, for Medfield and Millis and Walpole and Norfolk and Rentham and Plainville. And to give everyone my office hours, I'll hold office hours in all 6 towns. Give everyone my cell phone, my email. I really see the work that I'll be doing as nonpartisan work. I invite everyone in to come with their issues. How can I help? I don't care what party you belong to, whether you voted for me for state representative or not. Whom you voted for President of the United States does not matter. I want to serve. I think we need and deserve a full-time state representative. We need someone in the State House who will be working to bring home the revenue that we deserve to these 6 towns. I'll be that state rep.
How can we help your campaign?
My website is electmelville.com. You can go on there and volunteer. I've received wonderful support from volunteers in all 6 towns in the district. I welcome them in. We have a wonderful team. We're out knocking on doors, and I welcome your partnership in that.
When does your sign holding
I'm not sure when
start?
this show will post, but we have regular opportunities. We have one this coming Monday. So
sign
reach
holding?
out. Yes, reach out to the campaign, and Andrew LaBerge, our wonderful campaign manager, will coordinate and give everyone the service opportunities that they
I'm
want.
free on weekends. That's the only problem.
Well, we welcome your help, Peter.
I'd be honored to help you.
It's great talking to you, Peter. I thank you for inviting me. I've really enjoyed this.
We wish to thank Tom for appearing today with us on Special Times with Peter Filosa. We have interviewed Marcus Vaughn twice previously and plan to have an up-to-date interview with him in the near future. Stay tuned for future episodes. Goodbye.